Adaptive learning: expected benefits and possible challenges in developing countries. Adaptive learning is a promising educational technology that has been gaining popularity in developed countries. It is a computer-based system that adjusts the pace, style, and content of learning based on the individual needs and progress of each student. In developed countries, adaptive learning has shown great potential to improve student learning outcomes and reduce the achievement gap between high and low-performing students. However, the question remains whether adaptive learning can deliver the same benefits in developing countries, where the educational context is different, and the challenges are more significant. One of the expected benefits of adaptive learning in developing countries is the potential to increase access to quality education. Adaptive learning can reach students in remote or underserved areas, where traditional classroom-based education is not available. By providing students with personalized learning experiences, adaptive learning can also improve student engagement and motivation, leading to better learning outcomes. Adaptive learning can also help to address the issue of teacher shortages in developing countries. In many developing countries, there is a shortage of qualified teachers, which means that students do not receive the attention they need to succeed. Adaptive learning can help to fill this gap by providing students with personalized feedback, guidance, and support, which they may not get from a teacher in a traditional classroom setting. Another potential benefit of adaptive learning is the ability to reduce the cost of education. In many developing countries, the cost of education is a significant barrier to access. Adaptive learning can reduce the cost of education by providing students with access to high-quality learning materials at a lower cost than traditional classroom-based education. Additionally, adaptive learning can help to reduce the cost of teacher training by providing teachers with tools and resources to support personalized learning. However, there are also several challenges that must be addressed to realize the potential benefits of adaptive learning in developing countries. One of the biggest challenges is the lack of infrastructure and technology in many developing countries. Without access to reliable internet connectivity, computers, and other necessary technology, it will be challenging to implement adaptive learning on a large scale. In addition, there is a lack of technical expertise in many developing countries, which means that there may not be enough skilled professionals to implement and maintain adaptive learning systems. Another challenge is the need to adapt adaptive learning to the local context. Educational systems in developing countries may differ significantly from those in developed countries, and adaptive learning systems must be designed with these differences in mind. For example, in many developing countries, the focus may be on rote learning, rather than critical thinking or problem-solving skills. Adaptive learning systems must be able to adapt to these different educational priorities to be effective. Finally, there is the issue of equity. While adaptive learning has the potential to reduce the achievement gap between high and low-performing students, it may also exacerbate existing inequalities. For example, students who do not have access to the necessary technology or who come from disadvantaged backgrounds may be left behind in an adaptive learning environment. It is essential to ensure that adaptive learning systems are designed with equity in mind and that they do not further disadvantage vulnerable students. In conclusion, adaptive learning has the potential to improve access to quality education, reduce the cost of education, and address teacher shortages in developing countries. However, to realize these benefits, it is essential to address the challenges of infrastructure and technology, adaptation to the local context, and equity. With careful planning and implementation, adaptive learning can be a powerful tool for improving educational outcomes in developing countries. Bonus: get updates on educational opportunities, scholarships, internships, research, project funding, grant, and related for academic and professional development. Visit us on www.scholarshipslists.com. Adaptive learning